Hello and welcome to Better Gaming, the event and podcast series dedicated to all aspects of ethical gambling. My name is Jim. I'm the host of the show. And in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the article that you can see here on the screen. It's from a publication called Hacker Noon. Now, trying to validate whether it's legit and also to do a little bit of research into the author, just to make sure that I wasn't throwing my weight behind something that I thought might be a little bit shady. But it turns out they're not exactly an established publication, and the guy's not exactly pulling up trees in terms of his social media presence, but neither am I. So looks like we have got something in common. But what is really interesting is this article that they've done here, which I'll just go to the top of. And it is Elon has just made gambling define the news, and it's more honest than journalism ever was. This is a really, really interesting article. It's something that's been kicking around in my head now for quite some time, just in terms of what I believe to be happening with social media and its steer towards gambling and gambling-like products, much like gaming and how that is having gambling mechanism. I believe that social media is heading towards that. And I've recently, just as an example, I typed into AI, into Gemini, I think it was, and asked them to rate which social media platform had the weakest safer gaming policy. And lo and behold, it turns out it was X. But none of them were overtly holding a strong line on it. Now, when it comes to X, they have an AI platform called XAI, and I think it's called Grok or Grok. And you can see here that between XAI, which is Elon's AI company, and Polymarket, which is the cryptocurrency gambling platform that puts people in contact with each other, have created a feedback loop where headlines aren't written, they're traded, and welcome to the era of financialized truth. Now, this might seem quite a wacky article, and for some it is, but for me, I'm always super intrigued by this sort of stuff, that how people can have influence when there's other agendas in play. And it's it's pretty much like the presidential elections of 2016, 2020, all of these sort of different platforms whereby there are different agendas. I 100% know I'm sounding like some mad tinfoil head, but I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I would just be really cautious about the agenda of social media platforms and how they are now looking to monetizing their platforms beyond subscribers and advertising, because it is not a sustainable model, I do not believe, moving forward with all the elements in place. So, okay, on June the 6th, Elon Musk announced a partnership that will be seen as the beginning of a massive media protocol shift. Polymarket already lets users bet real money on real world events, and Grok, XAI's meme literate large language model, will now analyze trending content on X to generate AI driven summaries and inject that context directly into Polymarket's markets. In short, the headlines you have read, now you can bet on them, and AI decides which narratives matter based on what the market thinks is real. And this is pretty much, you can go into this article, have a look at it, but it's allowing people to lay down bets, put predictions down for high signal events. Now, it'll be something like, 10, 15 years ago, people were sort of all the rage about movie houses and their ability to know whether a movie was going to be a hit or a flop based on the amount of Google searches that were taking place. And, loads and loads of Google searches mean people were already interested in the movie. So when it was released, they knew they were going to get big box office tickets. This is pretty similar just in terms of the way people are floating out news headlines and articles and journalism, that depending on the way the markets are seeing them will predetermine where the momentum is taking it. So it's almost a case of, and it's what this guy here says, that mainstream media monetizes attention and prediction markets monetize accuracy. And what you're going to find here is that social media platforms are all about attention. And essentially what's going to happen, I believe, is this monetization of news, of articles, of tweets, of posts, of content. And it seems to me that gambling and these betting exchanges are going to be at the heart of everything that we do. Again, don't want to sound sensationalist. I don't want to sound like a tinfoil person. I just feel that this is the way it's heading, especially when I see the likes of TalkSport, whereby they're a sports broadcaster, but you go onto their website and there'll be sort of like 15 to 20 calls to action to lay a bet on whatever sporting occasion that's taking place. So that is my rough hack on it. I will put the article of this into the video. I think it's an interesting read. I should add, it's just one to say that I'm not actually saying whether this is good, this is a good or bad thing. I just think that we sort of like probably need some safety rails put on this and it to be acknowledged and considered when looking at regulation for future years or future generations. Because again, this is another example where technology, either the platforms in the social media or the technology like AI and large language models and crypto exchanges are going to be able to move and develop new products and pockets of opportunity way faster than any regulator. And it is a real challenge moving forward and something that everyone just needs to be mindful of. Hope you found that interesting. See you in the next video.